Obolo what?
Obolo the fat cat. And I'm sure if you're driving your children to school, there's something for them throughout Ghana month here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7, and a lot more from where that came from. Senua de dende, senua. Senua de dende, senua. Senua de dende,
senua de dende, senua de dende, senua.
Fufu na benkwan, senua de dende.
Obolo fast cat.
Daily Guide this morning says Telecel officially launches in Ghana. Election 2024. EC shoots down NDC drone operation. AG drops charges against Dr. Adimana in the ambulance case that involves Atuforsen as well. NLA boss elected Allah vice president. That's Samuel Uku right there. And on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, in Kwanta communal conflict, lay down arms, engage in dialogue. OT regional minister designate appeals to feuding factions. Also, Telecel brand officially launched in Ghana. Dr. Baumia was there. Mr. Digital. NDC government will investigate land looting in Adangbe area, according to ex-president Mahama. President opens Made in Africa Energy Technology Conference in Accra. And I am keeping this front page to myself, the land looting saga. I'm keeping it to myself. Ministry of Youth and Sports dismisses claims over late arrival of equipment instead of saying sorry. That's my emphasis. Accra Lions aim to deepen Kotoko's woes as GPL enters week 21. What do you have there, Helen?
I've got the new finder this morning, and Telecel Group unveils brand in Ghana. Samuel Uku elected African Lotteries Association Vice President. BDAC strengthens Ghana in India business relations. And this one here, PFJ 2.0. So school farms back government to support with partial land development, partial grant, land development, seeds, and also fertilizer. I believe government is calling on schools that have land to come and register for this PFJ 2.0 initiative. I don't know whether that was part of the initial one.
What was okay? So you can say it was part of it because then institutions of states, metropolitan municipal district assemblies, even the ministry itself was supposed to have their own garden or farms.
Right.
Up until now, we don't know where the Greek ministry's farm is. But then it's a good initiative. I will always go back to the General Achampon days. We had Operation Feed Yourself, Operation Feed Your Industry. So Operation Feed Yourself, you can say that it's now PFJ.
Okay.
And Operation Feed Your Industry is 1D1F. You can say that because if you look at the module, it's almost the same thing.
Got it.
And we exported food, a lot of food out of this country because of that initiative. Because we had state farms, we had backyard gardens, people were encouraged to plant their own food. I saw something shocking yesterday. I bought a pack of grapes, right? And I consumed the whole thing. I didn't see a single seed. And I became alarmed because the grapes I know, growing up at Abosoka, and my dad used to plant them. We used to, if you were a good boy, you got some.
Okay.
He had his own pergola. We had a tall almond tree that provided perpetual shelter. He had this pergola. The guests sit under it, and the grapes were all over it.
I'm sure it was quite breezy and
yes,
cool.
It was cool. And you had your monkeys, reptiles, python, white mice. You know, that was my home. And anybody who knew our home knew this. So if you behaved, you got grapes.
Nice.
You know, and you dare not touch it. The grapes I knew then, at least you'll find about 4 or 5 seeds in one. But I consumed the whole pack and didn't find anything in there. So the question I ask is, if I have interest in replanting that, how would I have done that?
Were they imported grapes?
I suspect
must
so.
Must be.
I suspect so.
Must be.
And it raised the question that, okay, this is Africa. This is Ghana. Our lands are fertile. We are not taking advantage of it. But we are importing nearly everything. And what we are importing may not be the best of quality. It may have adverse effect on our health and, you know, other things, our economy, our forex, whatever it is. But for me, the shocking thing is that I couldn't find a single seed. A single seed. I'm worried. I am worried.
The story does say here on page 2 that this is also in a bid to encourage the youth to take up agric. This is something that gets talked about year on year, about increasing the numbers of young people who are into agriculture. But young people have been doing some wonderful things in the agri-tech space. I remember we had some gentlemen here who had done some type of app where you could sit at home and actually purchase a pig. You could rear it and they would show you the journey along the way, how the pig is growing, and you could decide whether to have the pig slaughtered, you get the meat, or you on sell.
Right.
And I think at that time they were looking for audience, with the powers that be, and they were struggling to get that audience.
The support that a lot of young people want is, for example, if I'm interested in oil palm and I want to get into it, which bank in this country has patient capital for me to get in? Not even my own ADB has patient capital for you to get into oil palm plantation, because it takes 36 months for the tree to fruit.
Right.
Which bank will give you money and wait for 36 months for you to come in, for the thing to fruit, for you to start paying
That's
them?
right.
Top. 6 months, they start coming, knocking on your door, start giving us some of the money and start paying off your debt.
That's right.
Because we have too many non-performing loans as well in this country.
That's right.
So we want to encourage young people to get into agric. But how are we also encouraging them to stay in there? People get in there, they finish producing whatever it is that they have produced at neck-breaking prices, whatever it is. And the next point, they can't find people to buy. Go to Dodowa. Dodowa is just here. Go and see the mangoes. They're rotting away. Go further towards the Adan area. Tomatoes. I mean, so you ask yourself, where's the motivation? Sometimes you go to the countryside and the farmers sell the thing to you at very, very cheap rates, not because they want to sell it at that rate, but because if you leave it, the next day it will get rotten. All the work they have done for the past 3-4 months will be zero. So they have to at least push it to you so they can hold something. And that's not